A lot of girls were screaming for you last night, Joel.
It was a fun time. I think I made a few fans.
Are you, I don't know, how are you dealing with all this female attention?
I don't know. We started the tour back at the end of May, and it's been a blast. You know, really it's just been about getting my music out there, making a few fans, and there's definitely been a few female ones, that's for sure.
So let me ask you, for the girls that were in attendance last night, how do the girls in Edmonton and area measure up to the rest of the Canadian girls, or even the girls down in the U.S.?
The Edmonton girls was a pretty sexy crowd, I have to say.
So what do you find attractive in a girl?
It's an interesting question. Actually, it's funny. All my friends always told me I never had a type. It's because, you know, I mean, obviously there's the, you know, it has to be a physical attraction connection, but also, you know, it's if you just like enjoying hanging out with them, being able to spend time with them. So that's kind of what I look for. And a sense of humor. Maybe an easier question would be, what turns you off about girls? Jeez. I think, I don't know. A lot of hair, big hair, lots of makeup. I think lots of makeup. I kind of like the natural look. That works for me. It's a good one. So you're a good-looking guy, very good-looking. Has Hollywood come calling yet? Have you been in movies and TVs? Has the CW network asked you to be their next vampire? I've had a few people have approached me before, but I'm just kind of focusing on writing songs and working and getting this first album out this summer. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that your father is a preacher, is that correct? Yeah, no, he's still a pastor at the same church. He's been there for 20 years now. And what does your mother do? She works at the church with him. She's a secretary, church secretary. And where do you get this musical talent from? I'd have to say probably my mom's side. She always sang, and she sang in the church. And that's how I kind of got started. The first time I performed on the stage was in a church. So. And where are you originally from? Originally from a little bit west of Boston called Holland, Massachusetts. It's like 2,000 people out in the middle of nowhere. So you're obviously a hockey fan too. Oh yeah, well you know what? I wanted to play hockey and football growing up, but church was always on Sundays, and that was when the games were. So I never got to play. I more grew up with basketball. And when did you make the move to Nashville? Because is that where you're based out of now? Yeah, I've been there for about 3-4 years now. I was going there when I was 17, but right when I turned 18, I moved there. And it was your grandfather that introduced you to country music? Yeah, pretty much. He was from Mobile, Alabama. He bought me my first guitar and just kind of always taught me about like the classics. He was more of into the outlaws like Waylon and Willie and all that. So that's where you get most of your country music influence? I would say, but for the longest time growing up, we were only allowed to listen to Christian and country music. I never understood that. But you know, so I grew up with it there. My parents were big country fans, and also my brother and sister were always going to like Keith Urban concerts, Brad Paisley concerts, Rascal Flatts, but I was always too young to go, so I guess I just really grew up with it, and also kind of a little bit of a classic rock influence as well. So for country music fans that weren't at the Taylor Swift show last night, how would Joel Crouse describe his music? I guess it's kind of like a blend of, you know, because music's always evolving, so I guess it kind of has a feel of like early 70s rock in some of the songs with like a melodic influence, but you know, I guess I'd compare it to like a Keith Urban kind of Zac Brown type feel, you know, I guess country rock pop. So the debut single is If You Want Some. Tell us about that. That's actually funny because it's the last song we wrote for the album, and at the time we were writing and recording in the studio every single day, and Kyle, my guitar player here, and we were living in an apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, 2-3 dudes, really cramped, and so after the studio and stuff, we'd throw these like little apartment parties, have some friends over, and so when I went into the co-write with Luke Laird, he had asked me what I'd been doing. I said, nothing, I've been writing and recording, like, you know, just working on his album. He's like, outside of that, I said, honestly, I've just been hanging out with friends, having a few parties, and that's about it. So it's just kind of, it's like one of those simple songs. We wanted to go with it as a first single for summertime, and it's, you know, just upbeat and fun. Is that what you're going to play for us? Yeah. I'd love to hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, Joel Crouse. Get off the cloud, get on the phone, and tell everyone you know to get on over to my house, leave your worries there by the door. It's probably gonna want some, come and get some. We got enough, girl, to go way round. I just feel friends having a good time. Everybody is throwing down. Giving it up, living like you never ever done before. If you want some, come and get some. If you wanna come back for more. If you want some, come and get some. If you wanna come back for more.
Yo!
Joel Crouse is opening up on the Red Tour for Taylor Swift. You got a chance to record a video for that.
Yes, I did. It's pretty crazy. It was my first music video. I didn't know what to expect. It was actually really just, I was going into it, I'm like, this is going to be so weird. Just didn't know what to, do really, but it came so natural and it was so much fun. And I had a blast hanging out with some of my friends, and it just debuted on RollingStone.com last week, and then CMT and GAC.
So is it kind of like a Florida Georgia Line video where you have all these beautiful women in bikinis just chasing after you?
There's a couple cute girls, but the plot is kind of, it's funny, when I was back home, we had such a small town that we'd go hang out in the convenience store parking lots, and so I kind of wanted to do something similar to that, and so what it was is, the band's little minivan, or this old school van, breaks down, and we end up just having a gig in this convenience store parking lot, and a bunch of people show up. So
Last week was your birthday.
yeah, turned 21 in Canada, and I know it doesn't really mean anything here. It's because that's the legal drinking age back home, and so when I was at the bar, I was like, wait until midnight and everything, and tell the bartender. And I know it doesn't mean anything here, but it's a big deal back in the States, and she didn't care.
But she ID'd you though anyways, right?
Yes, exactly.
So I heard that a good birthday present would have been for Taylor Swift to call you up on stage and do a duet.
Yeah.
What did she do for your birthday? Or did she do
It was
anything?
cool. They had some stuff set up for me in my room and everything, and her crew was so sweet. And actually, I had a lot of people in town. We were in Toronto for that, and a lot of people in town, so I got caught spending some time with some of my friends and family. But it was a blast, her camp is so cool, and she's a really cool girl, too.
And what has it been like touring with her?
It's just been a blast. I mean, really, we've made some really great friends with Ed Sheeran and his camp and his group of people, and hers as well. It's just been a blast. Everyone's really cool, and we're all just having fun making music.
Do you get a chance to actually see her show? Because I went to the show last night. I mean, you sounded great, and I was really impressed, and I think our listeners will be totally impressed to hear that on the concert ticket it says show starts at 7 o'clock. You were on stage by 6:59. You were early.
Yeah, you kind of go in and maybe get an extra song in or two, and but it really has just been so fun. But I've seen her show countless times, and I still get amazed by it. I mean, her production and everything. And I saw the Speak Now tour last year as well, and she really just steps it up each tour. It's really impressive.
So do you hope to emulate that one day?
Oh, definitely. I mean, as an artist and an entertainer, how could you not? Because she's one of the best at it today.
And you end the tour in your home state, too.
Yes, I do, in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Can't wait.
A lot of family going to be there?
Yeah. Quite a bit, and some friends, too.
On your bio, it says that you wrote your first song at 14, you started a band by 16, you graduated high school by 16, and by 19 you had your record deal.
That's true, but I didn't graduate high school because I was super smart or anything. I wasn't I think may have been you guys who tweeted me Doogie Howser or something.
Yeah, that was me.
No, I wasn't that, I was intelligent, obviously, but I went to private school, and then I was homeschooled, and then I went to public school, so all my credits transferred over, and they just said, do you want to graduate a year early? And I was like, I guess so, yeah, why not?
Last night at your show, you asked everybody who was in the audience to tweet you and use the hashtag EPIC.
Yes.
Did you go back and actually read some of those tweets?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. As soon as I get back in the room, I'll pull up my computer and start following some people and looking at all the hashtag EPIC. It's really cool.
What was the most memorable one from last night?
Oh jeez, there was actually one that was really great. Actually, someone asked me, and this was just me being kind of sarcastic and trying to be funny, but someone asked me, how do you pronounce your name? Is it Joel like Johl or Joel like Jowel? And then I just quoted the tweet, and I just wrote, it's actually pronounced Scott. But I went back and followed her and tweeted her again, but it was pretty funny.
Joel Crouse, it's been a pleasure having you in the studio here, getting to know you. Your album will drop sometime this fall, and it's on Toby Keith's record label?
It comes out either end of summer or beginning of fall, no date yet, and kind of a toss-up between the two names for the record.
So anybody going to the Taylor Swift show tonight, like I said, Joel Crouse will be on the stage probably now at 6:57, so you get an extra song there. He's nice and early, so obviously somebody has taught him the value of hard work and $1 and all that, so we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for having me, and this has been really great.